Mandla! Ralebuha mukoni, ralebuha. Economic freedom. Economic freedom. In our lifetime. In our lifetime. Mandla! Now I want to thank you, President of the EFF, with that very brave message. I think we'll all take that message home. Thank you very much. We're going to press ahead with the program, comrades. We're going to call upon the President of the ATM. But before we do, I want to just ask you to understand just one slogan, sir, ATM. When I say to you, peace in our land, you must say, peace in our lifetime. Peace in our land. Peace in our land. Thank you. Now we're going to call, he's known as the most troublesome president in that parliament, President Vuyolwethu Zungula, to read the memorandum. And as he does so, we also want to ask the acting public protector to be here, because this is the message to her. And this message that is being read here is not the ATM message. It's a message for all of us that are here. This message has been put together by the entire team. So the ATM is representing the entire people that is here on the stage. Amandla!
Amandla! Amandla! Izwe lethu! To advocate Zaleka, the acting public protector of South Africa, we, the concerned opposition parties and civil society organizations, demand the immediate release of the Phala report. We, the opposition parties represented in our country's various legislatures and the broader society, have gathered here today to demand the immediate release of the Phala report. As you may already be aware, we have in our midst individuals who represent the people of South Africa at all three spheres of government. These elected public representatives who serve as the voice of the people have the constitutional mandate and obligation to monitor and oversee the work of the executive and hold them accountable, which includes holding President Cyril Ramaphosa accountable. From the very outset, we want to be clear that there is overwhelming evidence that Mr. Ramaphosa has broken his oath of office, and through the Phala farm scandal has destroyed the public trust that some of the voters might have had in him. Moreover, this scandal has damaged the reputation and standing of South Africa both globally and continentally. Each day that Ramaphosa spends in office, South Africa continues to be embarrassed locally, regionally, and internationally. To add salt into the injury, the unlawful and irrational delays by the acting public protector, Advocate Zaleka, to release the Phala report as mandated by the law dents the credibility of the office of the public protector and undermines the role of this important Chapter 9 institution. It is our view as this collective that the conduct of the acting public protector on the Phala saga leaves so much to be desired. The acting public protector's behavior over the past few months lends weight to the suspicion that her rash acting appointment was part of Ramaphosa's plan to frustrate the investigation into the Phala farm scandal. Some of the pertinent and unwelcome actions of the acting public protector's part include the following. One, as the acting public protector, you wasted no time in trying to prevent the public protector's office from funding the legal cost of the public protector Advocate that were related to challenging the president's suspension of the PP. You are aware that the suspension of the public protector constitutes a clear conflict of interest, as the president is the subject of the investigation by the very same Advocate Mkhwebane. For a woman to do this to another woman was very regrettable and suspicious. It is common cause that on the 17th of June 2022, Mr. Ramaphosa negotiated what amounts to a secret extension deal with the acting public protector, owing to him claiming to be extremely busy. Yet the very next day, on the 18th of June, Mr. Ramaphosa was indeed busy in his private farm auctioning his uncalled cattle. Despite knowing the above information, the acting public protector still went ahead and granted the extension on the 22nd of June, thereby making mockery of the legal requirement to issue a report in 30 days. Eventually, after the empty threats of subpoenas, Mr. Ramaphosa submitted his responses to the 31 questions on the 22nd. It is now 7 weeks after Mr. Ramaphosa's submission. To date, the acting public protector has not even given an indication whether or not she has arrived at the section 7.9, where Mr. Ramaphosa would be given an opportunity to respond to the preliminary findings. In light of the above, we want to register the following points. The excessive and irrational delays by you, the acting public protector, are in contravention of the law. The Executive Members Ethics Act number 82 of 1998, section 3.2, is unambiguous in stating that the public protector must issue a report on the alleged breaches within 30 days of receiving a complaint. The word must contained in this section is preemptory. In other words, it means you have got no discretion on the matter. You must do as directed. You have been conducting yourself as if the word must is the same as may. Must and may are two different things. We want to caution you against amending the law through the wrong interpretation. Secondly, we want to further clarify that this section of the law also says the report must be on the alleged breach. This clearly talks to the substance of what needs to be reported. We reject your understanding that the report envisaged in this section is the same as a status report. Your one-word report, which is ongoing, which has become your standard refrain when asked to report on the progress, is an insult to our intelligence and undermines the role of this Chapter 9 institution, the public protector, and frustrates the oversight role that some of us who are charged with the task of holding the executive accountable. You writing to the Speaker of Parliament is just a flimsy excuse which does not relieve you from the responsibility of issuing a report as directed by the law. The Executive Members Ethics Act, stop protecting Ramaphosa and start protecting the people of South Africa. In drafting this law, the lawmakers were alive to the realities that perhaps the 30 days might not be sufficient for the final report to be issued. The subsequent section 3.3 provides that if the investigation is not completed in the envisaged 30 days directive, you may issue another report when the investigation is completed. Again, we want to draw you to the attention to the choice of words used by the lawmakers. The lawmakers said you may issue another report. Any reasonable person would understand that another presupposes that there would be first an initial report. Surely the word another cannot mean the first and last report. Also consistent with your wrong contention that by saying the investigation is ongoing and you think that you have reported, you couldn't at the end of the investigation say the investigation is now complete and take that to mean you have issued the final report. Both the initial and the final report must contain the entire details of the findings. As opposition parties, we have received a disturbing report that we have decided to conflate and club together issues that arise from the EMEA investigation with those that arise from the Public Protector Act. In doing so, we have directly contributed to the delays in issuing the report on the alleged breaches of the EMEA, which, unlike those that are governed by the Public Protector Act, have a strict reporting time. We wish to remind you that as regards to the EMEA breaches, the Public Protector has a sole mandate and does not depend on other agencies for the required findings, largely because the law is about the conduct of the executive rather than maladministration, which is the domain of the Public Protector Act. This means that any delays can only be attributed to incompetence in your office or lack of cooperation by Mr. Ramaphosa. We also wish to remind you that in terms of Section 181.3 of the Constitution, some of the provisions of the Public Protector Act, compliance with the notices and directives issued by the Public Protector are binding to the organs of state, including individuals under investigation, such as Mr. Ramaphosa. Those under investigation have no choice but to respect and abide with your directives so that the investigations are not drawn out with no end in sight. The Public Protector Act gives the Public Protector serious remedies for those who are not cooperating, including subpoenas and applications to the High Court by notice of motion for an order to be declared the person in contempt of the Public Protector. Other than the threat to issue a subpoena to Mr. Ramaphosa to respect the return date of the 31 questions, the acting Public Protector has not used any of the available remedies. Thus, an impression is created that the acting Public Protector is very happy with the snail pace of the investigation and the deliberate violation of the 30 days directive. Finally, given that the EMEA breaches listed in the complaints largely mirror provisions raised in the Section 89 inquiry launched in Parliament to impeach Mr. Ramaphosa, it is not clear why up to now, almost 90 days later, the acting Public Protector has failed to conclude on those breaches. The reason the Speaker was able to initiate Section 89 inquiry is because those alleged breaches were accompanied by evidence for each of the breaches. We are reliably informed that the same impeachment motion, including the evidence, was supplied to the acting Public Protector as part of assisting the acting Public Protector to comply with the 30 days directive. So, as opposition parties, we hold the view that we have done everything possible to assist you in this investigation. But unfortunately, despite the assistance, there is still poor performance on the part of the acting Public Protector. We therefore demand the following from you as the acting Public Protector. Number one, the EMEA complaint must be dealt with as a separate investigation. Maladministration issues that are governed by the Public Protector Act must be investigated separately, and the delays experienced in the process should not affect the issuing of reports on the alleged breaches in terms of the EMEA report. We strongly advise the acting Public Protector to not aim to have a consolidated report of both the EMEA and PP Act findings, because inherent in that approach are unnecessary delays. The breaches under each act, although may be related, but can be exclusively and independently dealt with. The acting Public Protector must arrange for an urgent meeting to account in Parliament on the progress made thus far on the entire investigation. And within 7 calendar days from today, the report as envisaged in Section 3.2 of the EMEA must be issued, failing which we'll have no other choice but to seek legal remedy. Thank you.
Mandla. Thank you very much, President of the African Transformation Movement, President Zungula. We're now going to sign